Have you ever tried to compare one piece of kit ship's aircraft weaponry to varying kinds of another? If you have, you know how difficult it is, since the choice of ranking one above the other is completely subjective. This does not mean, however, that we cannot rank them at all. In this video, Mad World will be going over the top 10 best and deadly secret aircraft carriers that exist in different parts of the globe, and rank them based on 3 objective measures: brute material capability, fitness for assigned missions, and a zealous crew. Before we start our countdown, be sure to subscribe to Mad World. Hit the bell icon to get updates on further enthralling and captivating content. Are you excited? Well, let's get rolling then. Number 10. Nimitz Class, USA. Standing today as one of the largest ocean-going warships ever constructed and representing one of the most powerful offensive weapons in the world, Nimitz Class has a rich history to its service. Let's have a look. One of the most distinguishable American Navy names of the Second World War became the central aircraft carrier during the Cold War, the USS Nimitz, named after the U.S. Navy Pacific Fleet Admiral Chester W. Nimitz. It was the first vessel in her Nimitz class when launched in the early 1970s. It was initially labeled as CVAN 68, but was redesignated to CVN 68 in 1975. Do you want to know how this warship operates? Being a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, Nimitz is powered by 2 Westinghouse brand AW4 reactors. These reactors then power the quadruple steam turbines in 4 shafts at 260,000 sharp horsepower. Amazing, isn't it? The vessel can also achieve top speeds of over 30 knots. The integration of the Nimitz class comprises of a total of 3,200 sailors and up to 2,480 members of the air group, enough to operate the gigantic warship. Amazed by Nimitz class? Wait till we get to the number 1 secret aircraft carrier. It will blow your mind away, literally. Number 9. Gerald R. Ford Class, USA. This aircraft carrier is unique in its own capacity. What makes me say that? For starters, this transporter holds the capacity to move a maximum of 90 aircrafts, including the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, FA-18E F Super Hornet, E-2D Advanced Hawkeye, EA-18G Growler Electronic Attack Aircraft, MH-60RS helicopters, as well as unmanned air and combat vehicles. Can you imagine that? All this military equipment to be carried by the Gerald R. Ford class on its own. The requirement for a higher sortie rate, previously set as 160 sorties per day, which surged up to 220 sorties per day in times of warfare and crisis, sparked design changes in the flight deck of the carrier. Consequently, the flight deck today has a relocated smaller island where there are 3 rather than 4 deck edge elevators. These deck extensions also amplify the aircraft parking areas. The aircraft service stations, however, are located close to the 18 refueling and remaining stops. Isn't that the most perfect design for a warship? Number 8. Queen Elizabeth Class, UK. What's the first thought that comes into your mind as you read the name of this carrier? Yes, you're right, Royal. The Queen Elizabeth class aircraft carriers will be the largest surface warships ever constructed for the Royal Navy. No surprises there. It will show a compelling rise in the capability of Navy warships. The vessels will be utilized by all 3 branches of the UK Armed Forces and will provide 8 acres of sovereign territory. Interestingly, both the ships will be versatile enough to be used for operations spanning from management of high-intensity conflicts to the provision of humanitarian aid and disaster relief. The class will have increased survivability as a result of the separation and distribution of power generation machinery throughout each ship, and has been designed with twin islands which would separate the running of the ship from the flying operations, resulting in greater visibility of the latter. That's some good strategic planning, you've got to admit. Number 7. Admiral KUZNETSOV, Russia. This warship aircraft is approximately 1,000 feet in length and has the ability to displace up to 58,000 tons fully loaded. It can also accommodate a total of 24 fighters and 6 helicopters. This warship has an interesting story attached to it. How many of you have heard it before? Well, if you haven't, here's your chance. On the 30th of October, 2018, the airliner suffered damage when Russia's biggest floating dry dock, PD-50, sank. One of the dock's 70-ton cranes crashed into the ship's flight deck, creating an enormous 200-square-foot hole in the flight deck. This was not all. One person was reported missing and 4 injured as a result of this accident. Certainly one of the darkest days in the history of the warship aircraft. Number 6. LIAONING, China. LIAONING marked itself as the first warship aircraft of the nation, having the world's largest economy. The airliner serves as a stepping stone to a more powerful force point of national prestige and potentially a platform for expeditionary missions abroad for the Chinese. To add to the national opportunities arising, LIAONING can also facilitate a total of 36 aircrafts in its space. That's some really good news for the Chinese. Number 5. INS VIKRAMADITYA, India. This aircraft is equipped with 234 new hull sections constructed using 2,500 tons of steel. The overall length of the VIKRAMADITYA is 284 meters, a maximum beam of about 60 meters, and a displacement of 44,500 tons. Want to hear an interesting detail? This warship features 22 decks and 2,500 compartments, of which 1,750 were completely rebuilt recently. Number 4. Charles de Gaulle, France. This flagship of the French Navy Marine Nationale is the only nuclear-powered carrier that was completed outside of the U.S. Navy service. The vessel features a length of 262 meters and a displacement of 42,000 metric tons and is operated by 1,950 sailors. If you're not blown away by the beauty of these deadly aircraft carriers already, we present to you our top 3 striking aircrafts. Number 3. CAVOUR, Italy. Yes, Italy is not only known for its football and tourism. This ship has a displacement of 27,100 tons and a length of 244 meters. This extensive space allows it to accommodate 1,292 people on board. The most standout element of this aircraft, which helps it secure a place in our top 3, is its operational flexibility, which allows it to execute the functions of an aircraft carrier as well as the transport of wheeled and tracked vehicles for both military and civil missions. How awesome is that? Number 2. Juan Carlos I, Spain. The first vessel with the Navy to use diesel-electric propulsion, Juan Carlos I has a displacement of 26,000 metric tons alongside a flight deck of 202 meters. The warship aircraft can entertain 980 personnel, along with equipment for 1,200 soldiers, making it a highly valuable asset for the Spanish Army and bagging it the number 2 spot on our list. Number 1. USS Enterprise, CV-6. Enterprise became known as the most decorated U.S. Navy ship of World War II, taking part in 18 of 20 major engagements of the Pacific War. She sank, or helped sink, 3 IJN carriers and a cruiser at the Battle of Midway in 1942, suffered grave damage in Solomon's campaign, yet managed to send her air wing to help win the climactic naval battle of Guadalcanal. She even went on to fight in such engagements as the Philippine Sea, Leyte Gulf, and Okinawa. That's the stuff of legend. And for compiling such a combat record, Enterprise deserves to be recognized and remembered as one of history's greatest aircraft carriers. So, this was our list of the world's top 10 most amazing secret aircraft carriers. Which one intrigued you the most? Would you like us to add any other aircraft carrier to our list? Let us know in the comments section and stay tuned to Mad World for more captivating content coming your way.